All right, ask me a question. What's the question?
Yeah, yeah, cause like before I even watched your video, my cousin already showed me the video when his leg got broken and actually like turned away from it. Cause it's not something that I wanna see, and I don't even like competition fighting to begin with. But and as soon as I noticed that his leg got broken, it actually got me thinking that yes, he actually made a fatal mistake. Um, because there was one time I tried to throw the hook kick at one of my friends during a sparring session, and he actually did a stop kick on my knee. So if lucky for me, my knee was not fully extended, because if that was the case, I could have broken my knee. So, like you said, it's really like it's an amateur, it's an amateur's mistake. It's not a mistake that you should make. But at the same time, I wonder, I, s- I don't know why they would want to fix the fight. You know, how would you think that Dana White would fix the fight though?
Well, there's already been like a lot of talk about fights being fixed. Not just that, not that one in particular, but fights before that.
Hmm.
Like there's been talks about that. Um, Basically, I'm not saying like specifically that fight is necessarily guaranteed to be fixed. I'm just presenting the idea that there's a good chance that a lot of these fights in there are fixed. You know, just from the simple fact of like not just his leg breaking, but the simple fact of evidence being shown. No, not only are they talking about fights being fixed before these fights, but like I don't watch this stuff, but what I did, I saw a few interviews, and these were two recent interviews. One of them was the interview about the first fight that Silva had with the guy. And it was about that, and they were talking to Dana White. There's like three broadcasters talking to Dana White, and they were saying that there's talk going around that the fight was fixed. And then Dana White got all pissed off. He got all red. He started getting all mad and stuff. And he was like arguing that it wasn't fixed and all this other stuff. And then it was stated in the interview that Silva didn't want to fight anymore. And then Dana White had to convince him to fight. And then the broadcast was like, what if Silva said no, he's not going to fight? And then Dana White said no, he's going to fight. So
Yeah.
basically, Dana White forced Silva to have a rematch. And then the GSP guy got his head bashed in, and he was like a bloody marshmallow. But then he still like was considered the winner of the fight. But then at the end of the fight, he said, "I want to retire. I want to take some time off. I'm done." And then in the post fight, Dana White steps in again and said, "No, he's not taking a break.
Oh my
He's
God.
gonna keep fighting." So I already see those two things happen. So basically, Donald and then the guy that GSP fought against, the guy was like in a press conference talking about the fight, and then Dana White was just basically like just shut the dude down. Like the dude was like talking, saying, "Yeah, like I did what I had to do. I hit him with only 70% of my power." Like that was, and he said, "Yeah, like that was more than enough." And then Dana White's like, "No, that is like, no, it's not more than enough. You lost the fight." And the guy just shut up there, And then basically, it just shows like how much like of a bitch all these fighters are, and then Dana White's like their slave master. Like,
Exactly.
like he basically, like they all like just do whatever the hell he tells them to do. Like they don't even have a choice. So a fighter says, "I want to retire," and then he steps in and says, "No, you're not allowed to retire." Like he already came in and dictated what the fighter can and cannot do. The fighter is his puppet. You see before your eyes, the fighter is his puppet. So if the fighter is his puppet, then what the hell? How the hell can the fights not be fixed? Because if he says you have to lose, what makes you think that they're saying no? I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna win. No. They
don't have the choice. You're right.
Yeah, they don't have a choice because they already said I want to retire. He said no, you're not retiring, and then he forced them to fight. So if he tells them you're gonna lose this fight, how are they gonna say otherwise? They already proved that they're not allowed to overstep his authority. And another thing is this: he was in a press conference with GSP. And then right after, he was in a press conference with his opponent. He was representing both fighters. How could you represent both fighters that are supposed to be opposing each other?
Exactly.
Do you understand? Like when you got the head coach of Chicago Bulls, how could the same head coach be for the Lakers? It's got to be a different head coach.
Exactly.
You know, because that's what creates the conflict. It's like two opposing forces. But here you got the person, he's representing GSP and he's representing his opponent. How could you represent best conflict of interest? You know, like he's basically dictating what can and cannot happen within that cage. It's like he has control over everything. So it's like you're just basically just watching like prearranged, like choreographed fighting or whatever fighting. It's just like it's like violent wrestling with real injuries. You know, like I'm just seeing like from just like little information that I know, I could just see what the hell is going on. But people, they're just not intelligent enough to see this stuff, and they don't realize it. But watching that fight with Anderson, like with Silva, and what happened to him, like as a martial artist, I've been training for a long time. I know what you should and should not do. I know.
Even I know not to do that.
Yeah, and for him, how could he be considered one of the best and an expert when he makes a beginner's mistake? You know, so like it's just like it's not. You know, it's kind of like this. You know, like. You've been you know a lot about diamonds. You've been researching diamonds for 20 years, and if somebody brings in a diamond to try to sell to you, it looks like it's real, but it's not. It's fake. Yeah. But you know it's fake because you studied diamonds for 20 years. You know it's fake. So I've been studying combat for over 20 years. I know like what the hell is real, what's not, and what the hell he did is not it's not something an expert would do. It's not a mistake that an expert does. It's almost like it was intentionally done.
Yeah,
just like
I even think that Mayweather, if he was fighting against Anderson Silva, for example, he would not. I think he would have the same reaction as well. Would catch him just like that. I don't think like even Mayweather, you know, when he's boxing people. I'm not saying I watch boxing, but I've seen some highlights of him and how he avoids like punches like they're nothing. Like he beats their opponent like it's like they can't even touch him. That's an expert to me, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, when it comes to like fights and there's a lot of money involved, like anytime there's a lot of money involved, you know there's a lot of corruption. So now that the cage fighting is generating more money, like it's inevitable. There's gonna be more corruption. You know what I mean? Just think about it. Just think about it like this. Think about it like this. Say you're going into a fight and it's like you know that your career is about to end because you're already getting old. and say it's your last fight, and then like you have the option of winning the fight and getting 1 million or losing the fight and getting 5 million. I mean, if they're going in there for the money, then what makes you think that they won't take more money to lose? Because essentially, like, that's all it takes. Like, the fighters are after money. If you pay them enough money, they will do anything for money. So that will mean they will lose for money. Why won't you lose for money? If you're willing to, like, win for money, why won't you lose for money?
Exactly.
You know, so it's like, you know, a lot of the stuff, it could be easily rigged. I mean, just like if you play pool, you know, you could purposefully, like, miss shots. Just to basically, like, that's what pool hustlers do. They lose purposefully so then they can build the confidence of their opponent, and then they put more money on the table, then they win. Do you understand? That's what pool sharks do. So, like, if you're a professional fighter, you can, like, win 10 fights in a row, and then the 11th one, you could be like, you know what, I'll purposefully lose this fight because I'm actually going to make more money from losing this fight than winning. Because you won 10 in a row, everybody thinks you're going to win again. But then you're like, you know what, I'm going to purposefully lose so that I can make more money from losing than I do winning. You know, I mean, it's just like common sense. Like you're going to lose anyway. Their mentality is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to lose anyway. I might as well lose big now. Because if they don't lose when they plan to lose, then they can lose money. So say, like, they're going into the 11th fight and then they win the fight, but then, you know, or say they think they're going to win the fight, but then they actually lose, then they can lose their money, because basically, like, it's like how betting goes. You know, you got, like, the Bulls against the Lakers. You put all your money to the Bulls because you think you're going to win. You think they're going to win. But then they end up losing and you lose all your money.
Yeah.
But say you already know, like, it's already pre-planned that the Bulls are going to lose. And then you're like, okay, it's like knowing the lottery beforehand. Okay, let me put all my money in the Lakers then. Because then, now I know that the Bulls are going to lose, and then that's how I make my money. So, you only have, like, one person to convince to lose. It's not like it's a football team where you have to convince the entire team to lose.
Yeah.
Then it's easier to find the corruption, because there's too many people involved. It's hard to corrupt team sports. But to corrupt, like, individual things like tennis, fighting, boxing, like something like pools and, like, bowling, you could easily corrupt it. You know, it's easy. You could, like, people are so good at pool, they could purposefully miss a shot if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, Mayweather, like, I think from what I know, he manages himself. There's no, like, there's no, like, Dana White over him telling him what to do. And that's why he's undefeated, because there's nobody that could tell him what to do. He calls his own shots. But these fighters in the cage, they're not standing for themselves. Dana White's directing them and what to do and what not to do. Like, even Dana White was telling, like, GSP, like, they asked him a question, and he said, don't answer that. Like, you don't have to answer that. Don't answer that question.
So even him doesn't have control of his life either.
Yeah, like, the GSP guy couldn't even answer a question that somebody asked him. So, the Dana White guy is controlling what they can and cannot answer. He's controlling, like, when they can and cannot retire. So what makes you think that the fighters even have control of when they can and cannot lose? Just put everything together and you see it. It's, like, all happening right before your eyes, that they're already proving that this stuff is fixed. You know what I'm saying? And you know, these fighters, they don't have the freedom of choice. You understand? It's like a real fight is, you know, stuff that happens in the street, and these people are really trying to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, you know, arranged like strategically like this. So, you know, this fighter against that fighter, and this is how many wins this fighter has, this is how many wins this fighter has, and this is how old this person is, and this is how old that person is, and this person's getting close to retirement, and this person's brand new. I mean, it's just like everything's so prearranged that I see it's just very obvious to me. And it's just like they're saying that Silva lost the first fight. I didn't watch the fight, but they're saying like he was just like putting his head out there, like come get me.
Like,
you know, and then the guy just beat him down. So then the people are like, you know what? That guy wasn't even trying. He lost it on purpose. So then like, and then all of a sudden, you know, Dana White's probably pissed off at Silva. Like, you make it look like too obvious. I told you know,
he's probably guilt tripping Silva for that fight. You know.
Yeah, he's probably like, you know what? I told you to lose the fight, but you made it look too damn obvious, and then now everybody's saying that we fixed the fight. He's like, you know what? You're gonna fight him again, and this time you better like not make it so damn obvious. You better like do something drastic, and that was drastic. You know, like those low kicks, and then he just gets his leg broken.
Yeah, and also the thing I see about cage fighting, I think. You remember the story about the Colosseum in Rome and stuff? You know, when people fight animals with real swords, and they have like shields with them. I think it's slowly getting back to that. I think sooner or later, people are gonna start coming with swords in fights. I think it's gonna maybe slowly they're gonna come with fight with the sticks first, and then they fight with the nunchucks with the sticks, and they're gonna fight with swords, and then they're gonna bring guns. I think it's slowly getting back to that, and soon they're gonna bring animals to this too.
I don't know. I don't know if the government would allow that. You know, because the government, they kind of like, they're pretty strict with certain things that they want to be strict about. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like, the government's like, about the firearms. They're still giving Chicago a hard time about the firearms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they won't even let you, like, carry the firearm open. Like, it's got to be concealed. And then they do a bunch of background checks before they even let you get the firearm. You know, so